All right. Hello, everybody. We're doing Instagram Live Tuesdays at 10. And welcome to the Instagram show. My name is Chuck Temple with Electric Scooter Guide. And today you're watching, this video is going to be all about the best scooters under $400. So we're going to talk about 3 scooters in particular. 2 I have behind me. 1 is in our storage area. So today is going to be all about scooters under $400. Hello, hi, give me some love if you see this, hit the hearts and everything. So our mission is actually just to simplify the electric scooter market, on the personal side. All right, hey, thank you. All right, welcome everybody. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to just, shoot them out. But today we're talking about best under $400. So just to give you a little background, we operate the electric scooter Sure, get out of there. We operate the electric scooter subreddit. You can check that out if you just go on Reddit and then type in electric scooters. We're basically the only one. And that community is growing. It has about 4,000 subscribers. We get close to 4,000 visitors per day there. And so if you have questions, hey, thanks for the heart. All right. I don't know who that was, but that's great. So check out the electric scooter subreddit because it's got all kinds of resources. You can ask questions, and people have written reviews on all kinds of stuff. We also operate the Electric Scooter Guide website, which you can find at electric-scooter.guide. Our main product there is a comparison guide, which is fantastic. And it's our first product. We asked the Reddit community what tool they needed, and they said that they needed a comparison guide to compare specs and sort, filter, all that stuff, the entire market. That's what we built, and that is our main product at the electric-scooter.guide. You can also find a repository of all the best deals for electric scooters on that site. There's just click on the deals page. We catalog all the coupon codes, so everything's in one place for you. We also we're doing more and more reviews, but we have a ton of hands-on reviews. And now recently we're doing a lot more performance data. So acceleration tests, braking tests, all that kind of stuff. We have that linked up there. So check that out. And so you can also check out our YouTube channel. I'm going to post this video to YouTube later today. We do that pretty much every time we do Instagram Live Tuesdays at 10. So check, if you don't have time to watch all of this now, you can check out the YouTube channel. Which is, well, if you just go to my LinkedIn bio, you'll find the, hey, all right, how's it going? I think it's James. Check out LinkedIn bio and you'll be able to find our YouTube, or if you go to the website on the homepage, we link up the YouTube. All of the videos from Instagram Live, plus a ton of reviews on all kinds of electric scooters, range tests, etc., are all there. Hey, all right, hey T. So, without further ado, today is the best under $400 show. We've done a bunch of these shows already, and people really like them. So again, you can find this on YouTube later if you don't have time to watch today. So today we're comparing the best scooters under $400. So that would be the Xiaomi Mi M365, which I have behind me right here. The Swagtron Swagger 5, which is here, and the GoTrax GXL Commuter, the version 2 of that, which is in our storage unit. We have version 1 and version 2, but version 1 is it's already gone. We're now on version 2. The difference being you got a handbrake on version 2 instead of the rear kind of foot activated disc brake. So the Xiaomi is $400 now. The Xiaomi, all of those scooters just came down in price. The Xiaomi is $399 on Amazon right now. You can find a link to the kind of best version of that on Electric Scooter Guide in our comparisons page or the review there. So just check that out. Both the Swagger 5 and the GoTrax are right around $299. Sometimes sometimes it goes a little higher, sometimes a little lower. Those are great deals for $299. So popularity. So there's one clear winner when it comes to popularity, and that's the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi controls about 30% of the Xiaomi controls about 30% of the personal market, which is a huge amount. They're also the scooter that got popularized by Bird, which is the #1 scooter sharing company. That was their first model. Of course, on the sharing side, the sharing side, those scooters aren't lasting more than a couple months. But when you own your own and you take care of it, it will last for a long time. So for popularity, Xiaomi definitely wins. Close second is actually the GoTrax GXL Commuter. GoTrax done a great job with distribution, getting their scooters everywhere. So there's a lot of those. And the reasons, popular doesn't always mean good, but in some cases it does. And the Xiaomi is our pick for best scooter at that price range. GoTrax is our pick for best scooter at $300. They're both actually very, very good scooters. All right, so let's talk about the range of these scooters. So first we have manufacturer range, and then we have the actual range, right? And those are not the same. So the manufacturer range on the 3 scooters, and I'm always going to start with Xiaomi, then GoTrax, then Swagger. So if I ever forget, that's the order. So the manufacturer range on the Xiaomi is 18.6 miles, okay? The range on the GoTrax stated at 12 miles, and the Swagger is at 11 miles. So recently what we do as part of our kind of service and our guide is that we take these scooters on a test track in California. So our test track consists of a loop. It's a right-handed loop in a semi-urban environment. It goes down a slight incline on streets. It's a right turn up a pretty steep hill. I believe it's about 4% grade. And that's not a good, the pavement is also not good there. So there's a lot of bumps. It's not easy. Every scooter that I take out, that is where it dies. There's a right turn, and then we go down, it's usually downwind. It's flat, maybe slightly downhill. And then we take the final right turn to kind of go back to our starting spot, and that is downhill, although it's a lot of times upwind. So it's a very difficult test track, and whatever range that we get on that test track, you can be pretty sure that you're going to get that range, at least at first, on your scooter. So what did we get? So on the Xiaomi, we got 14.6 miles. So pretty good, just 4 miles less than what the manufacturer range said. On the GoTrax, we got 10.1 miles. Again, you just have to think about your commute, 10.1 miles. And on the Swagger, we got 8.6 miles. That was just tested last night. So the Swagger, that's unreleased data. This is the first time we're kind of like doing a range test on the Swagger 5, but 8.6 miles is what it got. And so there's certain reasons why these things happen, right? And so things to remember about the range, okay? So if you have a scooter that's going way faster, when we do our range test, we max the scooters out. We basically ride them as if we're actually commuting. So scooters that go 30 miles an hour, we're going to ride them 30 miles an hour. Scooters that go 12 miles an hour, we're going to max those out too. If a scooter goes 40 miles an hour and we're in traffic, we're going to go 15 to 20 usually. So understand that when you ride a scooter faster, just like a car, if you're going 80 miles an hour in a car, you're going to get less gas mileage than if you're going 40 miles an hour in a car. And the same thing goes for electric scooters. So when they do their range test, they're always going at 9 to 12 miles per hour, 160 or less pound rider, no wind. That's how they do it, and that's why they get pretty fantastic ranges, which are pretty okay. So here's some kind of details with this range test. The GoTrax has a top speed that says 15 miles an hour. It actually, when you really track it, it really maxes out around 13 and a half miles per hour. Which probably contributes to getting a little bit longer range because the max speed is a little lower. You can't just fly on that thing. The Swagtron Swagger 5 is a fun little racer scooter. That one will actually go up to 18 miles an hour. It seems to be kind of like unrestricted in the speed. And so it's quite fun, but at 18 miles an hour versus the GoTrax, right? You're gonna get you're going faster. It's more power output per mile, and so that's just the way it is. So that's why I got the 8.6. And then one thing to remember with any of these scooters, you can put your charger at work. The chargers, you buy them on Amazon for just a couple dollars, like 20, 30 bucks, and just keep an extra one at work, which is really helpful. Hey everybody, give me some hearts if you're watching this. This is great. And ask any questions. Sorry, ask any questions if you'd like as well. So yeah, so range issues range is an issue. It's like the #1 question that everybody asks. But again, just buy an extra charger and leave it at work and charge it up if you really have a longer commute. If your commute's over 4 or 5 miles, I would add a charger at work. But on average, according to our 2018 Electric Scooter Guide survey, the average total length of riding for a typical user is 7 miles per day. So all of these will do that. And if you're on flat ground or you have good roads, you're going to get a little bit more range than what I got in our test. Okay, so we talked a little bit about top speed already. The Xiaomi is limited at about 15.5. Really, it's about 16 miles an hour. The GoTrax says it's 15, but actually, if you stick some accelerometer and telemetry data on it, it's actually more like 13.5 top speed. And again, that is going to affect the braking test because we can't stop it from 15 to 0. We stop it from 13, so it's going to brake a little faster for you, which is actually safer for like somebody that is a new rider or is like prone to falling. Maybe they should get the 13.5 mile an hour scooter because it is stable and it doesn't quite go as fast, even maxed out. So, something to think about. The Swagger, right? That's our little racer scooter at $300. It can go 18 miles an hour and it's relatively smooth. So that's pretty fun. Commuting through traffic, I would not recommend. I mean, especially if you're new to electric scooters, 15 miles an hour is pretty good when you're going through traffic. You're actually going to pass most of the bicycles that are going to be on your route. And when you're going in your cars and everything, if you fall at 15 miles an hour, that's going to suck. Definitely wear a helmet. But, if you're going 20, 25 and you fall, you have bigger problems. Okay, weight and portability issues. So all these scooters are about the same size. They're actually quite similar when it comes to the portability factors. So for folding, the Swagger 5 is actually the same body frame and everything as the Xiaomi, which we think is actually pretty good. The frame folds up and down nicely. The Swagger, we did find after a bunch of miles, we do have a little bit of stem wobble on that, but it's almost unnoticeable. We just notice a little bit of the wobble in the stem right here. I mean, it's minor. The Xiaomi, we have no stem wobble. GoTrax, we have no stem wobble at all. They all fold really quickly, really easily, really nicely. And they're all about the same size from front to back. Also, all of them don't have folding handlebars. So as you can see, these handlebars stick out 16, 17 inches. And so they do fold, but then, you got your handlebars that are sticking out. So when you're on the subway and things like that, you just have to know that it's gonna be sticking out a little bit. I prefer, if I'm doing a lot of public transportation, I kind of prefer a scooter that has folding handlebars. Let's see here. Yeah, and when you're picking them up, as you can see, these stems are exactly the same. They're made out of different materials, but my hand fits pretty nicely around there, and they're pretty easy to pick up. They do fold. I'm just going to show you how this folds real quick. So you're going to pull that out. I timed this too much yesterday, but as you can see, it kind of clicks in there. They all kind of fold up real nicely, and then you can kind of see that there's a little bit of an angle to this. So when you pick it up, you'll figure out where the balance point is. But also for the Swagger and the Xiaomi, you've got kind of an angle, whereas the GoTrax, That top stem lays flat. However, there is the brake line that will be in your grip, which we don't quite like as much because, you know, pulling on that brake line is, you know, could kind of loosen or tighten or whatever, probably loosen your brakes. Also, the GoTrax is a wider, a bigger diameter stem. So when you're holding it, for at least my hand, and I'm, you know, average 5'8" person, it's a little bit big for my hand, but it's, you know, it's not undoable. And at 26-27 pounds on all these, you're totally fine. For rider weight, so they're all 220 pounds for max rider weight. However, you can have a heavier person on there without too much problem. The Swagger, for whatever reason, they've got theirs rated at 320 pounds, even though the frame is the same. So, you know, I don't quite know what's going on there. They all do feel solid. We've ridden them extensively and done all of our testing on them, but it's the same body as the Xiaomi, and Xiaomi is rated at 220, GoTrax rated at 220. That's 100 kilograms for all the metric folks out there, which we love, you guys. We do everything twice. So if you just joined us and we are live, go ahead and you can ask questions, give us some hearts, and you can ask some questions as we go through. I'll try to look at the screen and answer them. Okay, motor power. Motor power is going to be quite equal here. They're all 250 watt motors. We don't have a lot of stats on the GoTrax or the Swagger, but the Xiaomi maxes at 500 watts, but nominally, in other words, your kind of continuous power is 250. What does that mean? That means that you can get to the max speed on flat ground, like within, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 seconds. They speed up to 5 to 10 miles an hour really quick because they have like all that low end torque, as is typical in an electric motor. But, you know, going from 10 to 15, that's going to take you a little longer, but they're going to get up there. And then the Swagger's going to go 18 miles an hour as long as you're on flat. When you're on a slight incline, so 2 to 4% grade, you're not going to get the total max speed. You're going to kind of max out 13, 14 miles an hour. It's going to take you a little longer. Again, it's going to go up to 10 pretty quick. We also tested all these scooters on a 15% max grade. We're going to get all those stats up there shortly. I'll probably write an article on what this video is. But basically, when you're going up a really steep hill, and I mean really steep, you're gonna be going about 4 to 5 miles an hour, and that's just the way that it is. So slightly faster than walking. That, you know, 250 watts is about the lowest that they make electric scooters, and it is fine for when you're going on flat ground. But when you have really steep hills, you're gonna have to give it some help. You're gonna have to love the scooter up and give it some kicking power. Let's see, lights. So lights have to do with safety, right? So lights are basically the things you use at nighttime. You want to have them because at night, and you're riding an electric scooter, cars are not used to seeing you. It's just the way that it is right now. So we have front lights and rear lights. Rear lights are red. They typically blink or do some kind of like brighter type of thing when you hit the brake lever. Front lights can either be mounted high or low. So on all three scooters, all three have a front mounted, high positioned, let me just show you this. There's a light right up there. They all have a very similar headlight, okay? They all can be activated, I believe, on the scooter. Yeah, all three can be activated. You don't need the app to activate the front light. And we really like the fact that it's mounted high, so that way cars can see you from a distance. A lot of scooters have lights that are mounted lower right here. We don't like those as much because they're sorry, getting a message here. So that's good. Now the rear light. So the rear lights are all mounted on the fender for electric scooters, right? Electric scooters don't have a bike seat. They're low, right? And so no matter what, whether they have them or not, we always recommend getting a rear LED lamp that would go in the back of your helmet. If you don't have a helmet, don't ride a scooter. Just get a helmet. But put your red LED light in the back of your helmet up high so cars can see you. Now two out of these scooters have the rear LED light built into the fender. That's the Swagger and the Xiaomi. The GoTrax does not have a rear LED light built in. You must buy one if you're going to be riding at night. Okay? And I'll link in the video description, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link the our favorite lights for front and rear in the video description. For brakes. So brakes are one of those things that the electric scooter industry is now finding out about. All right. So here is the order of the kind of stopping power of brakes from worst to best. Okay. There's really just three categories. You've got your electric / motor / regenerative brakes as the worst stopping power. Those are the ones that use the motor, and they I'm not a technician, but they do something so where you're braking, and that's going to be most powerful at when you're going faster. They also have the least amount of stopping power. They're not mechanical. They're electric, and usually you press a lever and that stops it. The next, the kind of the middle of the road would be your foot brake. That's where you stomp on the rear fender, use friction to slow down that rear tire, and that's going to brake you. But you have to be in, if you're in an emergency, you have to be always standing with your back foot on the rear fender, which is not a comfortable riding position. It's not as stable, and it's just it's not like recommended, but if you have an electric brake only, it's good to have that foot brake so that, if you do get an emergency, you can hit that. And then finally, your best brakes would be your drum brake, and then your best of all is your disc brake. So what is really interesting and what we really like about all three of these scooters we're talking about today, and the reason why they're the recommended scooters in their price range, is because they do have disc brakes, all three. This is fantastic for safety. It's fantastic for just performance and all that kind of stuff. They all have them. They're all now on bicycle style handbrake, and they all work very, very well. In addition, I believe they all have an electric brake to assist. So kind of like there's a little extra cord. So as you squeeze the handbrake, if you just squeeze it a little bit, it won't actually activate the disc, but it will activate the regen or the electric brake. So you kind of have two different modes of stopping. None of them have the fender brake, but that's okay, because with a disc brake, you're going to stop pretty quickly. In all of our tests, and I think the Xiaomi test is already up, they all stop within 2 seconds, which is quite good. Hello, VNWW. So that's good. Okay, next we're going to talk about tires. Tire types. So just like brakes, there is a debate going on with tires, but for performance, safety, and comfort, your best tires are going to be the pneumatic or air-filled tires. On the worst tires are going to be your solid or airless tires. Now, some consumers, some riders do prefer solid tires, and I get it. My first scooter was a solid tire scooter that I had. I've ridden it probably 2,500 miles at this point. And in good conditions, and you're not turning a lot and that kind of thing, solid tires are okay. But the deal with solid tires are when you have your curved tire, right, and you're making a corner, whatever, or it's wet, you only have so whatever's making contact with the ground is what's giving you your kind of friction, which gives you turning power and stability and less slippage and all that stuff. And when you have a solid tire, it doesn't form fit to the road, okay? So you just have your little little slice of tire that's touching the road. Now this is now kind of like compare this to a pneumatic tire, which is air-filled. This tire will now form fit to the road, and it's got a bigger contact patch that's on the road, giving you more control, more stability, all those things. If it's raining out, I don't recommend using a solid tire scooter. Just period. I wouldn't do it. It's too slippery. And if you have a solid tire scooter and it's rainy, just hit the brakes hard and, you know, while you're standing on the ground, just push the tire and you'll see that tire just slipping all the way around. So we like pneumatic tires. So which scooters have pneumatic, but solid tires are not bad, and there's different types of solid tires. In the middle of solid versus pneumatic, right, you have your kind of honeycomb, or there's different technologies that are solid, but yet they have some air inside of the tire. It's not air that you pump in, it's just like kind of space. And what that does is it cushions the ride. It doesn't provide any additional safety or performance, but it does provide some comfort, almost on par with a pneumatic tire. So there's kind of basically three types. The GoTrax and the Xiaomi both have dual pneumatic tires, right? So the front and the rear is pneumatic. The downside of pneumatic is that you can get flats. There are two ways of preventing the flats, and I'll link this. We have an article on how to prevent flats. I'll link it in the video description. But basically, the easiest way is you just squeeze slime into your tire. Use 3 to 4 ounces, and you just squeeze it in. You pump the tire back up, spin it, and you're on your way. You can do that if you get a flat, and you can also do it to prevent flats. You can also add tire liners, but slime is easier because you don't have to take the tire off. You just literally unscrew the darn cap, squeeze it in, pump the tire back up. You're good to go. So anyway, the GoTrax and the Xiaomi both have dual pneumatic tires. Great for performance. We have a video, it's probably on my Instagram somewhere, I think so, where Alberto from our road trip, we're at Balboa Park and it was raining, and all of a sudden we were like, hey, let's make a video of us like carving on the tiles at Balboa Park in San Diego in the rain with a wet ground. And Alberto, you know, did that for a good 10-15 minutes. We got a bunch of photos and videos of it. He never slipped once. They're big fat tires. They're also 8.5 inches, I believe, on all three. I'll double check, but they're either the GoTrax and the Xiaomi are both 8.5 inch pneumatic. Again, bigger. Not again. I haven't talked about this yet. Bigger is better for tires. So the bigger the tire, the more safe they are, and the more stability you're gonna have. Xiaomi and GoTrax, both stable, both quite comfortable unless you're on the worst roads. The Swagger has a pneumatic front tire, but a honeycomb kind of solid. It's semi-solid, you know, whatever you want to call it, rear tire. So it does provide some cushioning, but it's not fully pneumatic. All right. So again, what do we prefer? We don't prefer having that on the rear tire, although you won't get flats. And then when you have to change a flat tire on the rear, that's a big pain in the butt. So it's up to you what you want. At least the Swagger has the pneumatic on the front, okay? And that's easier to change. Suspension. None of these scooters have suspension. You will need to go up in price to get suspension, basically towards maybe the 08 or the upcoming Fluid Freeride Horizon S. Those are $650, $700. They will have dual suspension. I think that's the lowest in the price range that has suspension. It's really nice to have suspension. Really cushions the ride. When I do these range tests and I'm riding for, gosh, one time up to 34.9 miles, luckily I had suspension on that scooter. Scooters that you don't have suspension, it takes a toll on your body a little bit if you have a longer commute and you're riding on rougher terrain. None of these have it, but the pneumatic tires will act as a form of suspension. The honeycomb tire will act as a form of suspension, just not quite as much as a pneumatic tire. Model satisfaction. So we did our electric scooter survey in 2018. We actually did it January of this year, 2019. We got 201 responses, and that was through the subreddit when we had maybe 1/10 of as many users as we have now. But we had a lot of responses on the Xiaomi, and the Xiaomi actually ranked 3rd overall for model satisfaction, period, among every scooter in the world. It only lost out to the Dualtron. It was either the Thunder or the Ultra, and the Dualtron Spider. Those are $3,800 and $2,500 scooters. This is a $400 scooter, and it ranked third to those $3,000 scooters. Xiaomi owners love their scooters. I can kind of see why. I've ridden all these scooters a lot. I've ridden the Xiaomi a lot. The Xiaomi is solid. It performs well. It's stable. Acceleration's good. Braking's good. I mean, all three of these scooters are actually good. They're good scooters. I don't know what to say. Things happen. Electric scooters are not perfect. They're not like bicycles yet. We don't have hundreds of years of history with scooters, right? They're in first, second, third generations right now. So you will have issues out of the box some of the time, which is why it's good to have companies that will support you. And these companies are, they have websites, they have phone numbers. You can call them for support. A lot of people try to go on AliExpress and find scooters from unknown manufacturers or unknown sellers with no website, no phone number. That's kind of hit or miss, I think. Out of the box, very few scooters don't have any issues out of the box. And if you're not super mechanically inclined, I would recommend having a reputable company to stand behind these because they're just so new. We don't have much, the electric scooter survey. We did get a lot for the GoTrax. I think that I have to check back on what that ranked, but it was like kind of mixed between the version 1 and version 2. Version 2, people like them a lot more, but nothing ranked as high as the Xiaomi at 4.5 out of 5. That's just incredible. For warranty, so the Xiaomi has a 1-year warranty through Xiaomi. Swagtron has a 1-year warranty, but I believe they make you pay shipping both ways. And then the GoTrax only has a 90-day warranty, but you can buy a 1-year warranty for, I believe it's $34.99, and then they cover shipping both ways. So, I think the GoTrax and the Swagger, it's very comparable, I guess, because of the shipping cost and the extra cost or whatever. I guess I would recommend getting it. Just because if you use this a lot, things will happen to these scooters, right? And then the Xiaomi is a 1-year warranty. If you buy, we have a link to the Amazon. If you buy it on Amazon Prime, you get your free return up to 30 days or whatever. I think all of these are on Amazon Prime, actually. Finally, parts and repair support. So they're all going to have parts that you can buy. However, the Xiaomi has the most amount of people that own it, and there's actually quite a big community of modders and hackers and repair guides and parts available. So for kind of community support and parts availability, the Xiaomi is going to be pretty far ahead of any of the others. Not that you can't get replacement parts for the others. It's just the Xiaomi has the most, and you're going to find the most people and the most videos online for repairing a tire or whatever. Also, the Xiaomi, you can hack the Xiaomi. So you can update firmware with modified firmware and get more speed. You can download that kind of stuff. It's not that hard. We don't condone it, right? Just because you probably void your warranty, and it might deplete your battery faster, things like that. But it's available, and I believe you can kind of reverse the flashing of the firmware if you like. I've got a moment to answer any questions anybody has. That is the end of what were the comparison. So I guess maybe I should give you my overall recommendation. Right at under $400, the Xiaomi is the best. That's just the way it just is. If you look at all the stats, all the just kind of repairs and all this stuff all together, the Xiaomi is a steal at $400. The price just came down it fluctuates between $450 and $500. It is now at $399. That is the scooter to pick up. I don't think there's actually anything even up to about $650 that compares with that scooter. And even at $650, there's trade-offs. The Xiaomi actually won best scooter under $600, and that's when it was $450. We have a newer article, or we're going to have a big video review coming out where I compare the Xiaomi versus scooters that are $500 and $550. I think it beats those. I think it beats anything in the market that is up to $600. And again, there's even trade-offs when you get to $650, $700. It is a standout right now in the price. And you know, yeah, I mean, when you get to $1,000, $1,200, of course, you've got scooters that are going to crush it. It's not going to be, you know, for that price, the speed is fine at, you know, 15, 16 miles an hour. You've got the best tires, the best type of brake. It's not braking on you. I did have the brakes come out of the back, but I was over at Spin headquarters, and those guys just fixed it up for me really quick and easy. So that was nice, and it was just, it had pulled out. So, you know, none of these scooters are perfect, right? They're not perfect. They're $300 and $400. They're first generation machines, okay? So safety is an issue. Make sure you wear a helmet. But if you're looking at what scooter to buy, $400, $300, even $500, I would get the Xiaomi in a heartbeat. Get it on Amazon Prime right now. You can return it within 30 days. There's just nothing that comes close. At $300, it's hard to say, just because like the Swagger is a lot of fun. It goes 18 miles an hour. So when you got those straightaways, it's nice to get some speed going. But you know, I guess overall, if I had to, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard. I like the dual pneumatic tires on the GoTrax. Maybe I would get that one. If I was getting it for my fiance, I would get her the GoTrax because it goes a little slower, and it's a little safer because of that. Anyway, I'm going to link this video up. Thanks for watching to the end. Again, if you have any questions, type it in. I'm going to log off here in about 30 seconds, but I'll just plug our website one more time, where you can find a comparison, and you can, whatever scooter you're looking for, you can literally type in all the specs. I want a scooter that goes 30 miles range, that has an 18 mile an hour top speed, that's, you know, under 1200, whatever you want, and you can sort, filter, etc. That's at Electric Scooter Guide, which is electric-scooter.guide. Also, go check out our YouTube channel for a ton of reviews and speed tests and all kinds of good stuff. And then, of course, you know, check back every Tuesday at 10. I'll have a different kind of live broadcast where y'all can ask questions. Also, DM me anytime during the week of questions, and I will add them to the next live broadcast, which will be whatever the next Tuesday is. If I can answer it, I will. I can also find out information for anybody. I answer a lot of questions either through the Contact Us form on the website, or just through the mod mail, or just people, you know, private messaging me. I'm the moderator, Chucky TE, on the subreddit, and I talk to a lot of people and just give advice. I also talk to all the kind of major sellers in the United States and around the world, as well as some of the scooter sharing companies. And so, you know, we're always getting new scooters, and things are changing rapidly in this industry. So, you know, check back in, and we're always happy to, get questions. So that's about it for today. Thanks everybody for watching, and see you next time. Enjoy my thumb.